वाहे गुरु 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 वाहे।
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you, someone just let me know?
Yes, Aunty, we can hear you.
Okay, fabulous. So shall we begin this wonderful journey with the Fakir? Now, I had read this book many years ago when I began my journey, in fact, side by side with Guruji. I have always grappled with life's existence. I've always had questions about the meaning and the existence of my own life. And I think most of us do. In fact, every one of us, we're part of the universal soul. So therefore, we all have common questions and we grapple with life's truth. And this book has enabled me to understand certain, certain truths about our soul and our soul journey here in this world. And like Guruji said, utte bhi aiye jo itthe hai, so apne karam kaat lo. So, there is certain questions and certain laws actually which govern our lives. Of course, laws of karma is one of them. Then there are laws of free will. Free will is something that is ours. And that sets us into motion to do what is right, to become strong, to prove ourselves strong. And it happens. I think a lot of people haven't received the new link. So you have to give me a minute because there are a lot of people ringing in. So I'm so sorry. Just 1 second. I'm going to send the new link to the people who are asking for it. Shilpi, can you do that, please?
Yeah.
Just before we get started, just put it in all the groups, darling, because I think a lot of phone calls are coming in now suddenly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just.
So I think a lot of people haven't got the new link. Okay, I'm sorry about the disruption. I'm going to get back straight into it. While Shilpi is going to make sure that the link is passed on to people. We get a lot of answers through books, and certain books elucidate our thoughts, our doubts, and they give us a sense of direction, a sense of bearing. And I think the Fakir for me has been one of them. So without further ado, of course, there will be times when I probably interject and there's some thought that comes to me through, I feel, related to Guruji's teachings, because it's all one. What we must remember, Jyot ek hi hai, like Guruji used to say. He said, in fact, Shirdi Sai Baba ki Jyot aur meri Jyot ek hi hai. He was born back then, and Guruji came in this, era to uplift mankind. But the commonality is that Guruji, every avatar, in fact, who descends the earth, comes to uplift us, uplift mankind, to bring us back on track, and to make us the best version of ourselves. And of course, to reconnect us to that ultimate light, the source of all that is. Guruji used to say, "Pehle bhi main si, hoon bhi main, tilgi bhi main." So the avatars who come, they come in different forms, but the jyot that is lit within them is the same. And that same jyot, they come to ignite the light within us. The light is within all of us. But because of our darkness that we are living in, the dark ages that we're living in, these difficult times, we are unable to ignite our own jyot. So therefore, we need a guru. We need a mentor to lead the way and to open up the pathways for us. So here, this is a journey of the fakir. It is basically, essentially, it's a journey between the mentor and disciple, the mentor and devotee, the guru and devotee. So it is a question answer, but it is written in with good humor. So it is very light-hearted. And, as many of us know, even Guruji's temperament was very light-hearted. He was very humorous. He is very humorous. He has a very good sense of humor. So even this book has been, the narrative is very light. The narrative is very easy to comprehend also. So here goes, without further ado. Rudra, who always wanted to die, but found it hard to exist, finally passes over. I just want to interject here. In my own journey, I feel, and I know I have died many times, but Guruji has ignited that enthusiasm and life force into me. Many times when I had the cancer, I really was on the brink of death. When I had skin cancer, again, I was on the brink of death. So many times with autoimmune disease, these issues that I've had have always taken me to the brink, but Guruji has brought me back. So it is again relatable. The all-knowing fakir who guides him every step of the way, and Rudra embark on a journey to the higher realms of the spirit world and experience its all-encompassing magic, the magnificent power of unconditional love, wisdom, and surrender. A gripping story told with humor, it weaves in and out of the physical and astral realms, where the seeker transforms into a lover and begins to understand the ancient law of free will, the extraordinary power of human thought, choices, and intent that shape our lives in both the worlds. Intent, Guruji used to say, Rab sirf twada bhav dikhta hai. The fakir reveals how complete love for the master is like a mighty river of light. Hamara pyar bhi, our love for our guru has to be absolute without any grain of doubt or any kind of uncertainty. It has to be resolute, upright, and certain. The fakir reveals how complete love for the master, again I repeat, I love these lines, is like a mighty river of light, of his jyot, navigating us constantly through the turbulent waters of karma, addictions, ignorance, and merging the seeker into the ocean of pure consciousness. Death, therefore, is a myth. Life is eternal. It never ends. Ignorance, thankfully, does. So here goes. I hope so far so good. This is the first time unprecedented when we're reading a book which is, kind of out. It is all within the realms of spirituality, and Guruji came to teach us spirituality, but it is not directly, for me, it's directly linked to Guruji. But for many of you, just sit back and relax. And I hope I'm able to deliver it the way your ears want to hear. I hope it's music to your ears, literally. And I hope my voice reaches out to every heart and soul who are listening in today. Thank you for listening in. So Baba, he sat on his chair, smoked his chillum, and observed the young couple that had just entered Rudra's room. They would be married soon and would need a lot of maturity, calmness, and faith to go through the next 8 years of their married life. The boy would eventually become a very wealthy man. But for the next 8 years, he was going to be trounced like a cloth that really needed to be washed time and again, and not with gentle hands. But this was part of what the young couple had desired when they were about to set out once again on the journey of life. Old souls in new bodies. They, along with their guides and masters, had drawn the blueprint of this incarnation. And 8 years from the day they got married, it was decided and agreed by all that the couple would go through trying experiences. Would they go through the experience calmly and united? Or would the hard times once again, even in this lifetime, manage to destroy their love and their togetherness and make them live the rest of their lives like strangers? Very rich strangers, as after 8 years, there was immense wealth and fame waiting for them, with arms opened wide. Of course, happiness and peace of mind are personal choices one makes. Destiny has nothing to do with how one decides to lead life. So therefore, the free will is ours. आज हमने सत्संग जाना है या हमने पार्टी जाना है. So Guruji has given us free will. Every human being has been given free will. So that is one of the laws that govern our lives. So destiny has nothing to do with how one decides and makes those choices to lead life. As Baba often told Rudra, son, one can decide to live life calmly or disgruntled. So the attitude is ours, happily or completely frustrated, in a positive surrender or always judgmental and petty. All are personal choices, beta, and you need to make those choices every moment. Innumerable times in a day, countless times in a week, and perpetually through one's journey on life, be it in the physical plane or the spiritual. This choice, this personal truth of living one's life is free will and has nothing to do with destiny. Destiny, my son, decides the path and the comfort and the companions and the time and the pace are not in the success or failure of ever reaching one's destination. But state of mind is a personal choice which you take and change and modify and then get stuck with. Personal choice of happiness and calmness bring about a feeling of heaven on earth. You may be in hell, but in a heavenly way. Ha ha, that sounds good, Vida. And that is something I always resonate with. When I was in the hell of being in treatment for my cancer, I went through it in a heavenly way. Why? Because I had Sangat with me. I had Guruji's love with me. So there was so much of karma that we have to go through. But Guruji eases it through the Sangat, through Gurbani, through Shabad. So I can totally resonate with this line. We may be going through hell in whatever way. We all have our challenges, but Guruji makes us go through it in a heavenly way. How beautiful. Baba looked at Rudra. The young man lay on the bed. Baba smiled. He looked back at the young couple. Baba hoped that in this lifetime at least, they would let the calmness, love, faith, patience overcome the financial storm that would lash them for the next few years. They were old souls, but the one lesson that they needed to learn, experience, and overcome was to face financial strife with the composure of a sage. If they succeeded, then they could move on a higher level of spiritual growth and would have no need of coming back to planet Earth to work out their remaining karmas. How beautiful. So when we actually work out our karmas in this lifetime with Guruji's meher, then we don't need to come back again and again. But we need to really face our karmas head on with calmness, with acceptance, and with surrender. They could work out those in the spirit world itself, but if they had an issue with financial strife, they changed, became bitter. Each lifetime was the same. Baba hoped, at least in this lifetime, they would rise above the financial karmic web. How blessed and fortunate we all are as Guru Sangat, that from being bitter, Guruji makes us better. And when we become better, we actually learn to face our karmas head on with calmness, with gratitude, and with complete surrender. Thus, a lot depended on how both of them would handle the next 8 years, as they were critical. Baba shut his eyes and realized that the boy would flounder. The girl would take course in meditation and prayers, while the boy in liquor, anger, and even violence. So that was a choice he made. He didn't have the strength and the courage to face the financial constraint that he was facing. She would have the option of moving on with her spiritual growth. But knowing her, she would keep coming down to be with this member of a soul group. She had been his mother, his sister, his friend, his teacher, his wife, his elder brother in so many past lives that now she would keep coming back to help him move forward. She was an old soul, much older than the boy. Would she, through her prayers and composure, help the boy overcome going to pieces during financial strife? Was something even heaven would find hard to answer? The answer lay in free will. So how beautiful. Like our husband in this life, maybe he was our mother or father in another lifetime, or maybe our brother in this life was our sister or friend. So it's a role play. Each one of us who comes into our lives is playing the role to take us higher on a higher realm. Basically, it is all like Shakespeare also said, the world is a stage and we are merely players. So we are all acting on this stage of life. And each one of us comes as a mirror in our lives to teach us as we have to teach them. So never hold on to any kind of resentment for anyone. Baba looked at the boy and sighed. How many more lifetimes, beta, will you prevent your soul from moving onwards? The foundations laid down by the free will of an individual and the subsequent ramifications, God himself cannot tamper with. That is the ancient law. Free will of an individual is so strong that even the very heavens have to watch helplessly, while the individual can you please forward the new link, darling? 10 messages have come through. I'm so sorry. I'm having teething issues, but I have to forward these links because people are anxiously waiting on the periphery and they want to also be part of this.
Okay, so maybe you can do
How
it.
do I
Just
do this?
a minute break.
Should I just ignore people? I'm sorry. Okay, I'm really enjoying reading this actually because it's giving me answers, although I've read this book twice. It's a wonderful narrative. Thank you, Roosbe. So I'm going to continue. God himself cannot tamper with a human being's free will. So the free will of an individual is so strong that even the very heavens have to watch helplessly. So when Guruji used to say, actually, get positive riya karo. Now that is our free will. We have a choice to be either in a complaint mode and a negative mode, or we can switch it. We have that strength to be in a positive mode if we choose. So the choices in lives are ours. It's so beautiful. So free will of an individual is so strong, so overpowering that even the gods and the very heavens have to watch helplessly while the individual goes about allowing his or her soul to plummet down to the very bowels of hell. If I decide today that I want to be a gambler and I want to get addicted to gambling, nobody on earth can intervene because I have made a very powerful choice to go down that avenue. So beautiful. Not that I want to be a gambler, but yeah, life has enough cards that it deals with. But when invoked for the good, the very heavens rejoice as they see a soul that has chosen the path that leads to them. How beautiful. So when we choose also, to be in Guruji's Darbar and to do service for the world, then the very heavens open up and they rejoice as they see the soul that has chosen the path that leads to them, overcoming the lure of lust, anger, greed, sloth, jealousy, or any number of other alluring, easy ways out. But the soul has chosen the simple path of walking the path. The heavens and the masters are ecstatic. So good to know, because when we choose, when Sangat chooses कि मुझे सेवा दीजिए गुरुजी, और मेरी पूरी जर्नी जिंदगी की सेवा में ही गुजारना गुरुजी, let me live according to your will, your divine will. And then the heavens open up. How beautiful. Where free will is concerned, the very heavens have had no rule in either the destructive or the noble. The couple had never seen Rudra look so calm. Something about him compelled them to touch his feet. They could smell burning tobacco, as though somebody in the room was smoking a chillum. But of course, there was nobody present. The dogs kept wagging their tails, looking at Rudra and the empty chair. The room was dark, but still well lit by the many candles and diyas burning. The fragrance of tobacco was overpowering. The three dogs sat next to Baba, but time and again gazed at Rudra. The animals were aware that Rudra was dying. They could see his aura slowly ebbing away, but they weren't overtly perturbed. They were sure that the old man would take care of their young master. The foundations laid down by the free will of an individual and the subsequent ramifications, God himself cannot tamper with. That is the ancient law, the law that governs our lives. We must understand this. Free will of an individual is so strong that even the very heavens have to watch helplessly, while the individual goes about plummeting his or her soul down to the very bowels of hell. But when invoked for the good, the very heavens rejoice. So after each paragraph, there is a kind of a synopsis. So it's so beautiful. So this is something we need to absorb and internalize and to reflect on. There are certain words and certain phrases in this book which will enable us to soul search. Each one of us is searching the same thing, literally our soul. We need to awaken the soul in this incarnation and reach closer to our master. Rudra woke up feeling free of all bondage. He felt so buoyant that for a while it was unnerving. Even a feather would have weighed more. The feeling of freedom was exhilarating, similar to a caterpillar, which has just metamorphosed into a butterfly and taken flight for the very first time. Like a bird released from a cage after years of captivity, he was incredibly happy, euphoric, as though everything was well with his world and there was no need or sense of worrying about anything. All was well and all would always be well. To worry was a waste of time. Like Guruji said, Chinta nahi, chintan karo. Worry consumes so much of our energy and it depletes us, it deflates us, and we feel so exhausted every time we indulge in worry. So instead of worry, that is worship. As though everything was well in his world and there was no need or sense of worrying about anything. All was well and always would be well. To worry is a true waste of time, as well as one's life, and an insult to the state of being he was going through. This state of well-being was natural, but something he had never dared to experience. He sat up and looked towards Baba. The old man smiled. He sat up and he looked up, and Blondie got up and moved towards the young master. Rudra got out of bed and touched Baba's feet. Ah, so my son, who can make the very foundations of heaven and hell tremble with his teeth, at last awakens. Baba, why do I feel so light and so happy? I can't begin to explain to you how free I feel. The old man smiled, and something about the twinkle in his smile made Rudra realize that there was something going on which he was still not aware of. Beta, you have dropped the heavy clothes you were wearing and have worn much lighter clothes. So imagine just dwell on this. Next time we won't have any teething issues. I'm sure people who are on the periphery, they are knocking on our doors. So I guess we need to open the door. Baba, so he did not know that he dropped, when he said, Beta, you have dropped the heavy clothes you were wearing, it means that the physical garb, this borrowed body that we have, we at some point drop it because it doesn't belong to us. So when we drop it and we go into a state of light, that is when, of course, we feel light. We will feel much lighter. So Beta, you have dropped the heavy clothes you were wearing and have worn much lighter clothes. Rudra didn't remember changing into lighter clothes. Last he remembered he had slept in his jeans and a loose shirt. Rudra looked at himself. He was wearing a white robe. For some reason, his clothes were glowing. Rudra looked at Baba and then suddenly nearly passed out. Sweet Mother of Christ, holy bloody hell, what the? Baba began to chuckle. Rudra stood transfixed as he stared at the man who lay on his bed. A man who looked very familiar, in fact, too familiar. Rudra knew who the man was, but for some reason, he now found it hard to identify with the person who lay with eyes shut, face calm, hands folded. This isn't happening, Baba. What is happening? If that man on the bed is me, then who is this man talking to you? And if I am talking to you, then who is this man sleeping on my bed who looks just like me? And will you stop chuckling, Baba? This isn't funny, you know. You find it so funny. But this is not funny, Baba. This is me on the bed. So basically, his soul had left the bed and the soul was now standing next to Baba. All this while, Blondie kept looking at both men, wagging his tail incessantly. Who is this man sleeping, Beta? Take a proper look at him. What is your association with him? And who is the real Rudra? Rudra looked at his own form sleeping on the bed, but he knew that not only he wasn't in that body anymore, but he wasn't that person anymore. Therefore, we should never get attached to our own body because this is not us. This is a borrowed piece of cloth or a coat, and we need to shed it one day. But this coat has been given to us to be able to live out our karmas and to do our duties and fulfill our responsibilities. Now he understood what Baba had meant regarding him having dropped the heavy clothes and adorning much lighter ones. For the first time, he realized that yes, truly, the body was just a casing, clothes worn to adorn the soul, the spirit, the consciousness of each individual. To identify with the body is like identifying with a pair of jeans and equating yourself with your worth with it. But seeing his body on the bed while he himself out of it was spooky, no doubt. Spooky because he felt disconnected with the man lying on the bed. That body was heavy and inflicted, carrying too much baggage and grief on itself. The depressions and allegations and hurt and weaknesses and issues had made the body heavy. Little wonder that now he felt free and light and wonderful. Seeing his body from outside, he realized that he had looked really tired and beaten by life. Gone were the innocence and spark. My son, says Rudra, said Baba, you have passed over, you know. According to the language on earth, you had died, and a dead body can't have given spark. For God's sake, Baba, Abita. And Baba began to chuckle again. For a while, Rudra smiled, and then it hit him. Dead? Did you say I'm dead, Baba? Baba, what are you saying? He couldn't complete the sentence as he began to rise. First, a few inches from the ground, which incidentally, he now realized that he hadn't felt touch with his feet. And now he saw himself float slow but surely towards the dawn ceiling. Rudra, don't worry. All this is a dream, and you will wake up. And then the first thing you are going to do is pour yourself a stiff 4-finger tall scotch and gulp it down in one God is my witness shot. But of course, he was now defying gravity and moving towards the ceiling, 4 or 5 knots an hour. I forgot to say, this is about reading and tea. Baba, I am, what? Floating? Any advice or any words of wisdom? Words of wisdom? Huh? The law of gravity sucks. Ha ha. Rudra was near the ceiling now, floating, looking down at his body, at Baba, at Blondie, and the other 2 dogs, all of whom seemed to be taking all this floating business very naturally. Dogs do have a sixth sense, as we know, a little bit too annoyingly naturally. Rudra realized that the top of the cupboards really needed dusting. For God's sake, man, you are dead or having a really bad nightmare. Forget dusting right now. Focus, focus. Baba, yes, my child. You always wanted to die, but found it really hard to just exist and use your free will. If you want to come down, will it, and your energy will force your light body downwards. How beautiful. It's all about free will and focus, my son. But if you want, you can keep flying up, and then, of course, the sky is the limit. Oh, literally. Very funny, Baba, hilarious. Now, will you get me down? And what do you mean by free will? What does that even mean? I mean, there must be a way to come down and stop floating around like a dried leaf. The dried leaf is on the bed, son. What floats up is the essence of life. The sand has settled down and the water of life has moved up. Wow. Woo, I don't care about sand and water and leaf, old man, just get me down. Funny boy, all your life you wanted to move on, and now when you are moving on, you have got possessive about your body. It's so easy to say, I cannot live. But when it's time to go, we want to live, and we are so attached to the human form. And Rudra realized then the wisdom of Baba's words. However, one may think he or she is unattached to the body or living in the gross world. When the time actually comes to leave, I just said this, the natural urge is to hover around one's body or one's loved ones or stay in familiar surroundings. It is so natural. The call of the beyond and the spirit world may be alluring, but the safety and familiarity of the gross world certainly is hard to ignore, and it is hard to detach. Come down, my son, said Baba. Just will it. What do you mean, will it? Said Rudra. What does it even mean, will it? Look, if you really want to come down and stand shoulder to shoulder with me, then you will automatically come down. But you will have to let go of the fear and awe of floating about in the midair. Come on down. And Rudra did want to be with Baba, and he willed it, and he slowly started to move downwards. Good boy. Rudra sighed in relief. What is going on, Baba? Give me clarity. Are you scared of death? No, I'm not, but I just find this unreal, as though I am dreaming. As though you will wake up soon? Yeah. Do you know how many souls have been earthbound, or in your language, been in a state of limbo, because they thought that they were dreaming and that they would wake up soon, but guess what? They won't ever wake up, as they really have left their physical bodies and are so-called dead to the normal world. So the spirit hovers around their loved ones or hovers in familiar surroundings for years, assuming that it's all a dream. And that very soon he or she will wake up and life will be the same, and only a night with the nightmare of death would have passed. When in reality, years can pass by and the spirit still hovers around. Those times, even their entry of the master or loved ones who have passed on before make no difference or impact on the spirit who is convinced that it is a dream state and will awaken soon in its original physical body. That is why we say free will is so important, my son. Even we can't change or tamper with free will, as that is the parameter of the soul's real progress or plunge. You either in our lives, we progress or we plunge, again, depending on our free will. So if we decide to progress spiritually, then we will. But if we think we can't, then we won't. That doubt cannot permeate our journey, because when it does, then we hamper our own growth. On earth, you have free will to choose between good and gross, virtue and vice, darkness and prayers. And every choice you make decides your future karma. In death, once again, it is all about free will. Thus, we can try to talk to the child. We can urge, get near and dear ones to convince the soul that it has passed on. But beyond this, we leave the final decision to the individual. You may ask why. The answer is simple. Just as we let you decide between good and bad, love and lust, to see how far you really love your master and God. The same way, we must know how much you love us, or the gross world, or your state of mind, or your possessions on planet Earth. The decision will show us the parameter of your love and devotion. Thus, free will is mandatory. If we intervene, how will it be decided where you stand spiritually? And believe me, lingering around is painful, not only for the soul, but also for those on earth and those who continue with their journey in the spirit world. Anyway, doesn't matter to you that you are passed on. Really, doesn't matter. Rudra looked at his body and realized that the person sleeping on the bed wasn't him. He realizes, yes, it looked like him, but it wasn't him. That and then Rudra realized that even this new casing or body was not him. Even these clothes that emitted light, again, weren't him. He was pure consciousness. And that is what we are, pure consciousness. We need to know this, but we get attached to our possessions and our people in this life. He was not thought. He was not emotion. He was not touch. He was not the five senses. He was that and much, much more. That is all we are. We are much more than our five senses, than our physical being, than our mind and body. We are a spirit having the human experience. So for the first time, Rudra realized that maybe, just maybe, he was part of everything and everything was a part of him. He still could not really explain it, but he knew that he was related to everybody and they all in turn were in some way related to him. Like the wave and the ocean, he too was part of the whole and the whole of everything. But for now, he was this light emanating individual, this free, happy person without any baggage. And he did not want to return to be caged into that individual lying on the bed. Yes, being in the body felt like a cage. No wonder every spiritual master and book urges the individual to meditate, because in a state of meditation, the spirit takes flight. Being in the moment, the spirit does roam about without the baggage of being caged. It happens without the individual realizing it, but it does happen for sure. There is no doubt. If we live by Guruji's words, if we live by his hukum, and if we surrender, we feel so much lighter, right? Because we're not carrying our thoughts. We're not carrying our desires. We leave it all to him, and then he takes over. So being in the moment, the spirit does roam about without the baggage of being caged. It happens without the individual realizing. No, Baba, it doesn't matter to me that I have passed on. I realize that now. Oh, good, says Baba. All this while, Blondie kept looking at Rudra, not the man lying on the bed, but at Rudra. He kept looking. They can sense the spiritual sun, as they still haven't got tarnished by the thoughts or manipulations of the world. And of course, their priorities are very, very, very clear. They just love their master. How beautiful. So pets, that's why they say that dogs are so faithful, because all they know and all they do and all they dedicate their lives to is to love the master. But we become so entrenched in the materialism that we forget, because we get so distracted by the Maya that we don't have this tunnel vision that pets do. that dogs do. So dog is the most faithful of all because it truly loves its master. And we love our master conditionally. Guruji ye denge, you scratch your back, my back, I will scratch yours. आप हमें ये देंगे तो हम मानेंगे, नहीं तो हम किसी दूसरे बाबा गुरु पंडित के पास चलते हैं. Guruji used to say this in his humor कि ए बाबा काम नहीं आया, आगे let us try. ये गुरुजी बोलते थे for the people he knew कि you know are wanderers or they're seekers, but they don't stay in one place. They will go here, there, knocking on every door. But Guruji to apna darwaza pura khol dete hain. So we need to really focus on loving our master, loving Guruji unconditionally, implicitly, knowing that he knows best. When we truly bow our head before him, then he does embrace us completely and embraces every aspect of our lives. I feel, antaryamino ki dasa dil da hal, because he knows what's going on, even the hurt, the pain, the molecules of thought. He's completely aware of the molecules of our consciousness. So it is actually, I've read one chapter. I think we have decided to go by one chapter every day. So there's a lot to absorb today in terms of loving our master, being truly faithful, not attaching ourselves to this to this borrowed lives. We have borrowed this body. We have borrowed even our family, friends. We borrowed them as our teachers. Some come as our teachers, some come as our masters. But they are all in our lives for a very solid reason. So we need to embrace that and awaken to our truth that this is all temporary, and with just love is the real deal. Truly, love and non-judgmental attitude. In Guruji's words, he used to say, ABC na karo, abuse or accuse, blame and criticize. And I always add, kisi ko judge na karo, because everyone has a journey, and we are all specks of the same light. We are all rays, little rays of the same sun. So, therefore, jo tujh mein hai, wo mujh mein hai. So, jo jyot mujh mein jal rahi hai, wo aap mein bhi jal rahi hai. And jo aap mein jal rahi hai, wo mujh mein jal rahi hai. So, it is something that we all need to do, embrace humanity, embrace each other, and be part of this universal love. And the messages that divinity is giving us through these beautiful books. Again, I'd like to thank Rusbe Rucha for writing such a wonderful narrative that enables each one of us to find our answers and to be a seeker, true seeker, until we find ourselves, until we really, truly enlighten our soul. Guruji is there to hold our hand, to take us forward. But the free will, which is the biggest lesson for today, free will, the choice is ours. The choice is mine if I want to dedicate my life to Guruji's seva, or to live it in the material world and to become this rich, famous individual, which is totally transient. But if I want to be rich in blessings, that is my free will. And this is what we need to ask for. Guruji, give us a wealth of blessings, give us a wealth of wisdom, and let us spread this light, wisdom, and love to each individual, and to give us the courage also to be able to joro sangat. Like Guruji used to say, bahut sangat joro, jitni joroge na, utni jaldi ye collective consciousness will be uplifted. The universe will be a different place. The earth will be a better place for each one of us to live in. So if there is any questions which I may be able to answer, we are going to do this. It's a beautiful format. It is about reading and having our tea, chai prasad or chai, because, I don't want to say that it is, a satsang, because it's every moment is a satsang in our lives. But this is a platform for reading enlightening books to help us to move forward on this journey. And we are all there to hold each other's hands and to make us understand from our stance, whether we are going through financial difficulty in our lives. Guruji used to say, Nanak dukhiya sab sansar, koi na koi kash to har insan ko hai. And there will be uphill struggles also. And that is called life. When we are breathing, we should be thankful, because that is life. And in life, there will be ups and downs, proverbial highs and lows. And but the challenges we will overcome with Guruji's grace and his ever-flowing meher in our lives, and his light that permeates our thinking, which becomes better. So it is totally, it is totally our responsibility and our free will. So if there's any questions that I may be able to answer, please do put forward. And the biggest lesson for me, I feel, is that when we read such books and we draw its essence and we draw the wisdom, we realize the greatest gift actually God can give us is peace of mind, and that joy and the happiness that cannot be bought with money. So the wealth of peace of mind and happiness and joy that we generate in our hearts, and the confidence and the courage, is what really counts and what really defines us as people. And the legacy we leave behind, once we leave this, like he said so humorously, that the human body is like wearing a pair of jeans. So when we leave this pair of jeans behind, basically the legacy we leave behind is the goodness that we have generated in the world, the good that we have brought into people's lives. And if we have touched one soul, trust me, that is equivalent to many, like they say, many masters, many lives. So these books, even that one is a wonderful book, which we might read later. But right now, the focus is the relationship between the master and the devotee, the master and the disciple. Thank you so much. Shilpi, are you there? Shilpi, are you there?
I don't think Auntie she's logged in. I think her internet dropped off.
Ekta, are you there?
Yes, I'm there, Auntie.
Would you like to take over? Does anybody like to ask any questions?
We've opened the chat and we've also unmuted everybody. So if anybody wants to ask a question, please raise their hands and they can ask a question. Thank you.
Hi, Anita. Anita ji, this is Ambika. I don't know whether you remember me. I met you in Sudha Auntie's house at Empire Estate.
Okay.
And you were gracious enough to give me your calligraphy Guruji's Swaroop and a beautiful book. I need to discuss something in person regarding my daughter, who also you met. So I don't know how to connect with you. If Shilpi has my details, she keeps in touch with me. And if you can connect with me over the WhatsApp, I'll be very happy to reach out to you.
I'm actually in Dubai currently, but I'll be back in Delhi within
anytime. There is no rush.
And
but
then
we left the conversation halfway that time, and I could see a lot of relating things which you just read. So I just felt like having a one-on-one conversation with you whenever you have time.
Sure.
So my details can be shared by Shilpi with you.
Sure, certainly.
It's so nice to hear you, and as always, so many inspiring things. And that's how the thing, maybe it was Guruji's indication that I must speak with you at a later stage. So I look forward to, and thank you for this platform for connecting me with you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anita. Thank you.
Hi, Anita. Jai Guruji. My question is, can free will change somebody's destiny, or is everything predestined?
So free will can change destiny. When we used to go, when Guruji was there in the physical, even now his energy is now, manifold, as we know. because he's divinity, right? But say now, I'll give you a small example. Now, free will is the free will to change our attitude. So attitude is something nobody can give us, right? It's ours. It comes from within. When I had cancer, I can only share about my experiences, right? So when I had cancer, and when I had it the third time, I would say the first time it was not daunting. I was no great shakes. Literally, when I was told I have cancer, it was no big deal. I knew I would overcome it, and I knew that I would be fine. But when I had it the third time, and the doctor had clearly said that, you have a cancer gene in you. It's genetic. So it'll come back in again and again. And when he said that, I was daunted. I was shaken to the core. Why? Because I have lost many members, including my own father, my bua, my grandmother. They all died of cancer. Now, from that moment onwards, I decided to live a truly positive life. Sorry, I didn't catch your name. I don't like talking without names.
Dipti.
Huh?
Dipti?
Dipti. From that moment onwards, I decided that the free will be to live a healthy life and also to deepen my connect with Guruji, because, deepening our connect with divinity, right? It changes our perceptions on things. It shifts our priorities, as Guruji used to say, changes our attitude, makes us stronger and more positive people. The more we deepen our connect with spirituality and divinity, the better we can see things and handle and manage our lives. My last cancer was 10, 12 years ago. And touch wood, it's a clean slate as of now, and I know it will remain clean because the free will has taken over. Somewhere the free will earlier, trust me, was of a defeatist. Do you understand? It was like, good things never happened to me. Mera to aise hi hai, main to bimari rehti hu. I'm not joking. This was my dialogue to myself, internal dialogue. And now I'm so aware of my internal dialogue that time is negative, I shift it. So that's free will. So, it just enhances the quality of your life. And when you see, we're the co-creators, don't forget. Guruji is the creator and he's the director of our lives. But we write our script and the ultimate direction is his. So that is where our surrender comes, right? But we need to help him to help us, if you see what I mean. So attitude is very important. That free will to want to have glorious clean is ours. So yeah, it does change destiny because Guruji then helps. Like Guruji said one day, let me just maybe, illustrate this further. 1 second. He said, कि ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ negative ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਬੜਾ we create walls of negativity. We create these walls. Do you understand? The barriers are so thick. Like it was with him, right? This guy, Rudra, it was so thick that God has given him in the soul form 8 years to change your life. But what does he do? He resorts to alcoholism. He resorts to gambling. So again, he goes into this pitfall where his wife, she's wiser or maybe knows more. The soul is, we know, right? We all have this knowing inside us. We all know why we're here. So when that happens, we choose a certain path. So that is your free will. We can either go left into the pitfall or we can go right where we know that we can just climb higher and higher. So the choices, the free will is very important that we make the right choices in life. Very important. And that changes our destiny.
Thank you. Thank you, Anita.
There's many layers to it also. Yeah, there's many layers to it. So, but one layer, the first layer is attitude. Okay, we have 7 minutes to go. Guruji's number 7, Sat. Anyone else would like? Or even share, maybe share something that you've learned today.
Auntie, does fear play a role in your free will?
Come again?
Does fear play a role in your free will?
So yes, so this is a very good one. So, believe it or not, I think the transformation does happen when we're with Guruji. Now, the thing is, when before coming to Guruji, I was only 30, right? 30, 31 when I kind of bowed my head first time to Guruji. I was 31 exactly. I was full of fear. Fear had dominated my life. It permeated the very being for many reasons. It's always from childhood, with childhood experiences, sometimes we carry that into our adulthood, and then we attract the same kind of people with similar vibrations, and we never overcome our fears. In fact, they deepen with time. So with Guruji in our lives, we are really blessed because we can surrender certain emotions, certain traits, personality traits, which we do not have control over because they're inherent, right? They're ingrained. So I remember very clearly, this was when I became single again, and I had to live life on my terms, rewrite my sort of script in my life. It was not easy, but I built it with the right attitude, being positive, traveling more, because traveling does, as we know, expand the mind. So you're not in your box, you're not in your comfort zone. We know that we don't grow in a comfort zone, right? We need to get out of our comfort zone and really branch out in life. I think all of us agree with that, right? For various diverse experiences, that is what makes us. Now, my daughters had challenged me to go to Madrid for like a week or 10 days, all on my own, and have no company, just go on my own. And this was one of the challenges after becoming single again. And of course, you can travel with friends, you can travel with family, but I was to take on this challenge. I went to Baramandir, sat before Guruji. Guruji was not in the physical that time. But Guruji, I just bowed. I said, Guruji, I'm fed up of myself. I'm really fed up of my fears. I said this, मैं अपने आप से तंग आ गई हूँ. मैं अपने fears से, अपने डर से, हर चीज से डरती हूँ, हर बंदे से डरती हूँ, हर situation से डरती हूँ, confident नहीं हूँ. So I really am fed up. Guruji, today, I surrender my fear to you. Trust me, that fear dissolved. Over time, of course, but it dissolved. I had overcome it by challenging myself to do things and facing the fears head on. So जिस चीज से डर लगता था, उसी चीज को मैं confront करती थी. You understand? So therefore, with a certain calmness, with a certain wisdom and calmness and courage, of course. And I would always check myself. So you see, our journey is never about the other person. You have to really imbibe this, that the journey is not about the other person. It's about you. People in your life are just a mirror of who you are. So they are just mirroring your faith. If somebody comes to scare you, they're only there as a stimulus who will bring out the fear that already exists. Do you understand? So therefore, we need to face our own fears and turn that fear, each fear, into faith. I was able to travel to Madrid on my own. I did Madrid and Barcelona on my own. And of course, blessed to have Barcelona on my cards because I met Sangat there and we were able to share satsang. So that was Guruji's favor to me, his grace and his, gift to me. But yeah, it takes each step. Life is step by step. It's not a treadmill. We've been taught wrong. Everything in life, from childhood to now, it's not about being the richest person or the wealthiest person or the becoming number one in this or that. It's about just being true to yourself. It's not about competing with anyone. It's setting your own standards in life, right? So it's about setting your own standards and being the best version of yourself. Don't compare your journey with anyone else. I've realized this the hard way. But now I'm just true to myself. And I have my own identity. And I have my own quirks, which is fine. Just be true to yourself. Don't lie to yourself, for God's sake. And don't be a people pleaser. And don't be a hypocrite. Most importantly, don't be a hypocrite. Be honest with yourself. And don't feel insecure or fearful of what others have. We don't need to compete. I'm very happy carrying a coach and sometimes not. No bag at all. But Delhi society does make us, like, if you're getting into that circle, it's very hard. So fears will dissolve when you surrender your fears to him and challenge yourself to do things which make you fearful. And that'll help you to overcome them. That fear will turn into faith. Absolute fear turns into absolute faith.
Thank you, Auntie.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you so much. It was beautiful. And now we'll see the Sangat tomorrow, same time.
Jai Guruji.
Jai Guru, can I request something? Can I request?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, please. We don't get the link in time. Like today, I got it at 5:32. So I would like to be logged in time. If we can get this link little earlier.
Yes, surely. Surely.
So please do that because I'm quite interested in that.
Send it in the morning.
Okay, sure. That would be very nice. Jai Guruji, God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Love
God bless everyone on
God-
this.
Thank you, Auntie.
God
Thank you
bless
so
you.
much.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Jai Guruji. Jai
Please,
Guruji.
please join me in the group. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm Meena Gupta from Pune. Kindly join me in the group so that I can get the link directly. This time, Jyoti Harpalani had sent me the link. I joined, I connected at 5:25, but I think 5:50 or something, she sent me a new link. Kindly,
Actually, the link with which you have joined, we will be continuing with the same link. So please save the link.
okay,
It will be the
Fine.
same link. Just click
Okay.
and join.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
I have mentioned my number in the chat. If anybody wants to send me a message, I can store your number and we can send you the link every day so that nobody has any issues.
Yeah.
And also, not to forget that today was our very first reading, so little teething issues were there. But yeah, for tomorrow, it'll be absolutely smooth sailing. So there'll be no hiccups tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I
Anita.
sent my
Auntie.
number.
Thank you.
I've sent my number.
ठीक है जी. Okay.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you.
We've saved it, Auntie. We'll
Thank you.
send you
Thank
the
you
link.
so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anita Aunty. Jai
Thank you,
Guruji
Anita
to
Aunty.
all.
Anita. Thank you, Ekta. Thank you, Smiley.
Thank you.
Love you, Lord.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Auntie.
Beautiful. Thank you.
इतना अच्छा बोली है फेयर का मेरे लिए बोली है